Yeah, he's got a lot more confidence. He's so much stronger than when he first got to us, and he's got he doesn't have the blinders on anymore. He's been such a hard worker, and he really needed to just focus on himself and his skill development over the past 3 years. And now I think he realizes he's got to be looked to for leadership, and he's got to see. I say take the blinders off. You can't be like the horse with the blinders on. You got to take those off and see everybody else, the other 8 guys on the field and the other 34 guys in the dugout, and lead and give them what they need. And Jack's done a great job of that so far. I expect even more of it during the season.
And I know, Jim, you're going to have a veteran, experienced staff, but maybe working with a young catcher. How's that? How do you feel like that's
Yeah. There's 2 guys that are going to probably get the bulk of the duty behind the plate, and in Zach Susi, has definitely established himself as a guy with a really strong arm. He can receive well. He's got to work on taking charge a little bit more. I think that'll come with time and with repetition. It's a lot to ask a freshman to do and to take over for Max McDowell, who was sensational for us for 3 years. But Alex Lefebvre has been great in kind of mentoring him, and Alex is challenging for playing time too. So I feel comfortable with both of them receiving the ball. Zach's a little ahead of him skill-wise in terms of throwing the baseball and swinging the bat right now. So, I'm never jumping for joy with a freshman behind the plate, but I think he's capable of doing the job, and the more experience he gets, the better he'll be. And Max McDowell was a freshman, Larry Day was a freshman, Mike Leonard was a freshman. We have a history. Brian Esposito was a freshman, so we have a history of guys taking over as freshmen and doing a pretty good job back there. And hopefully he can continue that pattern.
And Joe, I know we talked about this a bit last year, but this league is a tough league, but it also gives you some opportunities that maybe you didn't have in the past.
Yeah, we saw that last year with the third best conference in the country, according to the RPI, and nipping at the heels of the ACC and just percentage points behind them, really, in the RPI. It's a very tough baseball league, and that means that if you finish in the top half, like last year, you finish in the top half of the SEC, ACC, or American, you're going to the NCAA tournament last year, and those are the only 3 conferences that can say that. So, we don't aim to finish in the top half. We aim to win the championship, and we're going to be focused on that. But it's nice to know that our league has gotten a lot more respect on the baseball front, and I think we should, back in Providence, they should have us carrying the banner really high for the league. I mean, it's a very good baseball league, and it deserves, the attention that those other 2 conferences get. As far as with the guys in cleats in the spring, it deserves that kind of attention.
Preseason poll had you
Thanks, Tom.
fourth in the league. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was fourth.
Feel about right up with that?
I don't know. I mean, the preseason polls are like, yesterday's newspaper becomes toilet paper, and I think it gets people talking, and that's about it. But I guess the thing that you could say, hey, I say to these guys, hey, we got a lot of guys on that preseason all conference team, and yet you're picked fourth. What does that tell you? They don't think much of us as a team, I guess. If we have that many guys in the all conference team, and we're not, we're not a championship caliber team, then I must not be doing a good job, or we're not doing the little things right. And we need to focus on doing those little things right. And that's why we really harp on the details in here and try to make it as game-like as possible indoors, because we're going to be playing in the dirt in about 10 days. So.
Coach Diaco won't let you cut an infield out
No. We as much as we'd love to have dirt on the cleats already, we can't complain with the weather so far. We've been able to get outside a little bit, and can't do that with the snow on the ground now. But it's been a real nice winter.
When did you start practice? About a week or so?
Well, the guys came back on January 15th, and they've been doing individual work. They did individual work for about 2 weeks, and then we cranked it up the last Friday of January. So it's been over 2 weeks since we've been at it full force. Or no, it's not over 2. It'll be 2 weeks on Friday. And so it's never enough time. As a coach, you never feel like you have quite enough time. But the guys came back in good shape. They've gotten really strong, and we just hope that these reps will get them ready for the real game.
What do you want to see early? What kind of things are going through your mind that you got questions about that you want answered early?
Well, you always want to figure out who the guys are that you can rely on the mound. And I think our lineup shapes up pretty well. We have a lot of offense returning. We don't have as much as we could have had with Vinny Sienna and Max McDowell signing as juniors, but that's to be expected. We kind of kind of plan for that every year now. The guys are going to leave as juniors, so we've got to absorb those losses, and we hope that a guy like Tyler Nesda, who's an experienced collegiate hitter, and Willie on, I didn't mention him earlier, but Willie's going to be a big part of our offense this year too, along with Bobby Melly, Joe DeRoche and Jack Sundberg. They're going to be relied upon in a big way to score runs.
You had a lot of punch at the top of your lineup last year, right? I mean, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Is that the same?
well, I think we don't have quite the same punch, but we've got, I think we have the best power hitter in the league in Joe DeRoche. I think we have the best overall hitter in the league in Bobby Melly. So those are good places to start. I think we have the best base runner in the league in Jack Sundberg, and I think we have the dirtiest uniform in the league in Willie on. So you got 4 guys returning that have made some noise in all conference accolades, and then you have 2 really solid middle infielders in Aaron Hill and Brian Daniello. That I think this is the year that they kind of gel together, and we're really expecting a lot from them. If they can produce the way they're capable of, I think we'll have a really good offense.
Sundberg's still your leadoff guy. I mean,
Yeah, Jack just sets the table. He's cut down on his strikeouts. That was been a focus for him. He's gotten so strong. He's like an Adonis in the weight room and works. Nobody works harder than Jack, and he's a great story. He's a local kid and came to us as a recruited walk-on late in the process. We recruited the heck out of him, but we didn't have any scholarship money because it was so late. He earned scholarship money as he went, and he should be very proud of what he's accomplished so far. And I know if you asked him, he'll say his work isn't done. So he's a good guy to kind of start things at the top, and he's always got a smile on his face too. He's one of those guys who takes his work super seriously, but he doesn't take himself really seriously. That's refreshing.
You talked about Anthony being that Friday guy pitching. Is that just a great feeling to have that security?
Yeah.
With a guy like that?
He's pitched against Cuba, for God's sakes. It's not as though you could put him into a situation where he should be intimidated with his stuff, but the fact that he's had that international experience and really pitching at the highest level of amateur baseball, he should feel very confident heading into the season, and I think he is. I think he looks good. His body's in great shape. We challenged him after fall ball to get in good shape, and he's done that. And I think he's going to be ready to go. So it's nice to have a guy on Friday night that you can hand the ball to and know that he's going to give you everything he's got in the tank. And that's what Anthony does. Thanks, Ken.
Good luck, man.
All right, appreciate it.
See you when you get back.
What's impressed you the most so far over training?
Well, I've been impressed actually. I think the offense, strangely enough, the offense has kind of been ahead of the pitching, and that's usually the opposite. So it's odd because you don't know what to think in the preseason when your guys are facing each other. Every day the hitters have a good day, you're worried about the pitching. Every day the pitchers have a good day, you're worried about the hitting. If they both have good days, then you're worried about the defense. So if there's one thing that's impressed me, I think Willie on has been sensational in the preseason with his offense and especially his defense. His defense has grown a ton. Aaron Hill is off to a great start with his bat. We're going to need him in a big way. And the catchers I think the catchers have come a long way, especially Alex Lefebvre and Zach Susi have both improved a great deal. So I'm excited to see us put it together and see a different uniform. We're not quite ready for that yet. And if you ask the coach even 5 minutes before opening day, you'll never feel 100% ready, but ready or not, here it comes.
And, who do you see slotting into the weekend rotation behind you?
Right now, the guys that'll have to get beat out really are Wills Montgomery and Andrew Zapata. They've had experience. They've been in the fire. They have the stuff to do it. We have other guys that are going to challenge them, but I think at the outset they're the most logical to get the first opportunities. And as long as nobody has an unbelievable last outing or two, and Wills or Andrew really falters, then they'll be the Saturday Sunday guys.
Who do you see slotting in if they falter? Someone really impressive.
We've got a couple freshmen that I'm excited to see develop. Ronnie Rosamondo has looked very good in the preseason. He's grown a lot. He's matured a lot. He's been able to control the running game even in here. He's learning. He's like a sponge every day. He's picking stuff up. PJ Poulin's got great stuff, but we haven't built him up to be a starter yet. So I think Ronnie Rosamondo would probably be a guy who could challenge him. beyond that, we got a lot of guys that we've built up as relievers, so it'll take some time to develop them as starters. But P.J. Poulin, Tim Cate, Alex Hintz are all talented left-handed freshmen that we're excited to see. Doug Dumnarski's had an excellent preseason from Avery Point, and he's a guy that has a lot of toughness and guile, and I'm excited to see him too. So he could do it too. He's been prepared as a starter, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but it usually doesn't shake itself out until a couple weeks in.